I've said many times in the midst of our return into Pirates with Visions of Atlantis, I love the fact that I decided to come back to this album in mutual form, right? That we get to explore good work together. With Visions of Atlantis, the journey as of late, I'm reminded exactly of where I was upon first entrance. Some of you, again, took that original ride with me, I would imagine, for the first 15 pieces we consulted here. And that introduction, to be graced with such beauty from an Austrian-based symphonic, melodic, and power metal group, again, to set a baseline for anybody that this might be a first approach, I would recommend, at the very least in our journey together, you go back to the beginning of Pirates to enjoy where we now sit on upcoming consideration, track 9, because it is worth your time. Every step of exploration with this group and part of the symphonic delivery, which is an automatic favorite of mine in the metal sphere, I just love a development of the craftsmanship explored by this group, whether it be on instrument use, application, vocal duality. With Clementine and Mikhail, you really can't go wrong in terms of this balance. It's just so beautiful to humor. And again, in respect to us taking mutual explorations together, which is a favorite pastime of mine concerning music. I think it's a better way to enjoy it, that it's done in company, right? With those of us who have similar tastes, or just humor good art in general, right? You don't even need to be a metal fan, in my opinion, to love Visions of Atlantis. What's offered here is just so stellar, and for me has provided this triumphant experience of company since our first entrance. A selection of works were Being the Deep and the Dark and Wanderers, equally fantastic, again, on the application of the symphonic variability, and there is that with Visions of Atlantis. They really do have a wide atmosphere to their work, which I admire, and you see this oftentimes in the symphonic field. There are so many tools and assets utilized creatively in independent ways, and with Visions of Atlantis, broad reach and application. But with Pirates, I loved the concept, and the delivery of said concept, meshed again with such expertise, was just such a memorable first adventure with me that I'm like, I need to reprise that experience. I've carried it with me ever since I was first entertained, and every re-listen I've given to this group, which has been at this point too numerous that I've not kept track. It's just been in excess. In particular, Pirates. This album is just so good. And to see the Visions of Atlantis dream communicated again with such brilliance and unapologetic creativity. I love taking this journey with you in terms of first impression, and I've constantly reiterated this over the past couple of videos, and I, again, mean it. I love saying it because it's true. Thank you to each and every one of you that gave me this name in association to humoring new talents, again, on the European metal line. I've loved the introduction, and to develop it further with all of you has been a real treat. I've been looking forward to doing this for the past couple of weeks and to finally make progress on, again, returning back to such a stellar album and band. Faster than I thought we would be, perhaps, in guarantee, because I definitely said at the time we left Visions of Atlantis, the door is open for future developments, and I'm still in the same mode. I'm ready and waiting, game as ever. But returning to Pirates, I've quite enjoyed it, and I hope you will too. If this is a first entrance for you, I'm very excited for you to be introduced to Visions of Atlantis. And again, take my recommendation seriously that you go back to the beginning. I really think that's going to be vital to your experience. Enjoy Pirates in full, and then perhaps return to where we sit currently with In My World. But, you might choose differently, right? Music is a subjective experience, especially on how we receive it. And if you want to take your own path in, feel free. At the very least, just come into Visions of Atlantis graces and be introduced. I swear to you, you will not regret 1 second of it. I haven't at all. Some of my favorite videos to make concerning music coverage, and I cover a good array of artists here, and each one I've been honored by. Visions of Atlantis, I love spotlighting their work. And I hope you'll have the same experience that I've had many times at this point. Over, in total, I think we're on our 19th entry together. Beautiful ride we're on. I wouldn't change it for the world. In My World, let's continue through Pirates and its evolution, but it's just such a fulfilling experience. I hope you feel the same way. Kind of going back into the Freedom territory with the opening whistle. Has, again, a softer ballad presence. Spoke too soon. One of the past works also had that type of delivery. I think it might have been Darkness, or Wild Elysium. And the dimension on Clementine's voice is beautiful. Love how natural it is. And then you have that Mikhail intersection, the trade-off. Familiar, but fulfilling. That's beautiful. And I love anything with operatic facade, as close as it gets. The tease is endearing. I love how we're darting back to that origin, but again, there's a change on the riff transformation, and that foundation is employed in complement to the strings. Both are developed well, especially on the chorus sections. Good flow. Beautiful realism and inspiration communicating the narrative here. Less Pirates concept. So beautiful. The metal environment is what gave me a love for opera. Just seeing that interplay, it works. The tracking is just masterful. Each transition, perfection. We still have 2 minutes to go with this piece. I'm assuming it's going to be heavy instrumental. I'm here for every second of it, though. I'm just looking at it in comparison to the lyrics. We don't have much left. Oh, it's gorgeous. Maintaining the whistle, good choice. Nice refrain. I'm assuming we're going to go back to that harder chunk in a minute. It's going to naturally swing right back in. Yep. Incredible work here. Another great attribution to Pirates. So far it's been the story of every piece, and we just continue onward in that manner. I love how subtle the Visions of Atlantis essence is to that. When you have the symphonic coverage, it intercedes with the number. It comes off as this either foundation or whisper effect. Right? On entrance, that's how you're introduced with that little whistle, but it's so intricate and detailed. Again, these later songs are so specified in their own manners. And they do have, again, like I said, that mainstay presence that you experience in Visions of Atlantis on Origin. So it connects on those grounds, but the independence of these works and how they're differentiated to the album lineup, whether it be on tone or emphasis on strengthened attitude. And what I mean by that, just for clarification, is I consider the concept of pirates, and I've said this with respect to the last couple of songs, there is a bit of a divergence in the emphasis of the concept, right? Some pieces may employ a mixture on tone and music with, again, evolving the pirates theme. This has it in score briefly. This song goes more into, again, just a mainstream symphonic metal feel. And if you're versed on that scene to any extent, you know, again, as I've said with Visions of Atlantis, the variance on applicability and options provided. This piece allows for a lot, and it encompasses so many natural aptitudes of, again, that particular scene, whether it be, again, the symphonic dominance and the employ just on certain agents there. This song beautifully illustrates that. In narrative, it's a little more contemporary and practical. Certainly inspirational in storytelling, hiding inside when the wind's about to turn, I will always be safe in my world. It again communicates, how do I say this? It's permissible for the song to intersect back into that concept, but it's not direct. But it's not like it's telling this Pirates-esque story where some of the numbers have been, whether it be on the visualizer side or just the styling, or more so it's an interplay between number and narrative. This takes more of an aesthetic contemporary exploration, and a fun narrative, though, at least in articulation. It's developed satisfactory enough as is. But the music, again, harkens more of that exposure. But again, in particular with the past pieces we've entertained, this floats more so to a mainstream symphonic pattern. But the choices are still just as exquisite. Again, the whistle pattern, the higher inflection raises nearing an operatic voice with Clementine, which again, I've seen in a good survey now of so many European artists. That's what developed a love for me of, again, operatic use. It didn't used to be my story of years past, where I'm like, oh, you become an opera fan now? And I certainly am. It's European metal that got me into this, symphonic metal specifically. Whatever vocalist you look at, and I've humored many with, I'm sure, many more to come in the future. Each one has unique styling, and some maybe echo others. Clementine's voice is a lot lighter and delicate, and there's a natural frailty to it that take the operatic and do not make it... Let's say by comparison, I think a good example of a contrast, Emmanuelle Zolan from Sirenia. I love her. A little more emphasized, right? Deeper. Less breeze-like in comparison to Clementine's, which just kind of skirts by, but it's so even again with her pitch and her vocals that it just feels like such a natural transition. But it's softer. It's even... I find opera quite welcoming in general, but this feels much more easy to approach because, again, it's such a natural feed and transition from where the vocals are placed into their development. An even canvas of exploration, and then you have, of course, Mikel coming in. There's that vocal duality or trade-off that is significant to their works. In My World beautifully commands that vision. Another fun entry on the album for sure. Again, each piece on Pirates has been just such a welcome introduction for me, and this piece is no different. I'd love to hear if that opinion is shared down below. I'd imagine many of you would concur. Certainly for all of you Visions of Atlantis fans, again, that have graced this channel, I love welcoming your company, but I also hope that some of you are getting a first entrance path as well for our exploration together. If it is the case, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are down below. Again, I'll keep opinion open to everybody. What are your thoughts in My World and our placement currently in Pirates thus far? I've loved the journey. I've loved sharing it with you in terms of completing our fulfillment of this album because I felt it did mandate this. We're going to proceed on in the next video with Mercy as we near the conclusion. But I'm loving every minute. Every second and entry of this piece and collection is just so fabulous. And In My World, no different on opinion from me. I love it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.